Now I'll clear all this out of the way. Take the strings off my guitar. Now is this a screw? Oh, it's a peg. Got my guitar peg out. It was a peg and it's not a screw, it was just stuck in there with friction. So this is the hole I now have to drill out. To whatever the manual says I need to drill it out to. I haven't even looked at the manual yet. Got my strings off. This is a Fender left-handed. DG10LH stands for left-handed. NS, I don't know what all that means. Left-handed guitar. And while I was doing it, my little, I don't know what you call this thing, my string lifter neck bridge thinger came off. I have to glue that back on. This is just plastic. It's not the most expensive guitar. I'll glue that back up, and once the strings are on, it won't go anywhere. And now I will pause the camera as I pretend to read some instructions. So I don't have any super glue. I'm going to put off the that piece of it. You won't notice any time delay, obviously, since I'll patch these together. But I'm going to drill out this end hole here. I've got a 3/8 drill bit. And I measured it. It's 2 millimeters smaller than I need. I don't know what the actual imperial measurement is for that, but you need a 12 millimeter bit, and it gives you suggestions on what sort of bits you're supposed to use, yada yada yada. But I'm just going to go ahead with this, see how she goes. I'm going to have to widen it out a bit, so I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I'll start, I'll get it out to this size anyways. Alright, so that's about an inch worth of wood on the back there. That's interesting. I thought it wasn't so thick. So, can't quite get my arm in there to get it right to the back. Close, but not quite. So that's not gonna. I gotta get it so that just the smaller bit here is poking out through the end, and then you can adjust the thickness here. So this looks like it'll be thick enough for it. I'll probably have to use its full thickness there. You know, sitting like that, but yeah, I'll need to do some drilling out to get that. You're supposed to use a stepped drill bit, which I don't have. I was looking for a bigger drill, but I'll keep looking here. I got the graduated drill bit. I actually got a set of them. These guys were on sale from Canadian Tire. These are graduated, they're called stepped bits. This was $11 down from $50, I think. So I hope these will reach in deep enough, because the wood at the back here is very thick. It's like an inch thick, so I don't know if I can get all the way. I'll soon find out here. Now, one thing I like to do is visually match up. This is what I do. If you visually match it up like that, you can see if it's the same size. And if I look straight down on it, that looks just about right. It is a 1/2 inch. That's what their instructions call for. Now, I did feel that break through at the end, although I was right deep as far as I could go here. So hopefully that is. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. Looks like a pretty clean hole there. Let's see if I can. Yeah, let's see. Can you see it? There it is. That looks like a pretty clean hole. That should be good enough. Now, in theory, this should slide right in. And it does. Perfect. The 1/2 inch is a tiny, it's about 7/10 of a millimeter too large. But I mean, if you're within a millimeter, that's pretty good, I say. So my next step is I'll probably try and thread this through. Actually, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my transducers lined up and stuck in the, and I'll figure out how the mounting bracket goes with the golf tee and such, so that I can get it lined up. I don't know if that's going to cause me any issues if I put the phono plug in first or not. It shouldn't. It should be the same thing, but if it's out here, I can stage it on the putty to get it ready for inserting. So I'll read the instructions and I'll get that set up. One thing I did mention is I did get some super glue. I could have went with the double-sided tape, which they provided and said should work fine. However, the instructions do say that if you use these double-sided strips, you lose about 30% of the volume, so they don't pick up quite as much volume. So the instructions say that the absolute best is to super glue them. So I got some Gorilla super glue from Canadian Tire, but $7 for that. I got a full-size bottle. You can get the mini containers, but I got the full-size bottle because I use this for all sorts of things, and I happen to run out of our other supply of it. So good stuff, super glue is. So I'll be using that to stick the transducers on. So the instructions say to put the pin in the jig there. It's supposed to be very tight, and if it's not, they say you're supposed to use super glue to fasten it in there. So I'm going to use a bit of super glue now actually to stick that in there. There, I just put a daub of it just on the, where's my finger, just on the top of it there. Trying not to drop any on my pool table. I'm going to give that 10 seconds to dry, and then that should be nice and tight. One funny little thing I just found out, my guitar is left-handed, so you actually need to do the reverse of the image in the instructions. It probably doesn't really end up mattering which side the point is on, but the fat end needs to point towards the fretboard, this top end here, and the pointy part is supposed to go up underneath and help you get it in the hole from underneath. So I assume that's why they put the pointy part on top. But the image showed it like this because it was a right-handed guitar. So FYI for left-handers. Alright, so I have my jig on my guitar according to the instructions. Again, I've switched this around for left-hander because I am a left-hander. So now it shows to put the golf tee in there to line it up, because what we'll do here is we'll put the transducers on the front side just over top the little bridge here, because they're going to go right directly underneath this bridge on the inside of the guitar. I switched the camera around, so what I'm going to do now is put the little ball of putty right on top of the bridge in front of the string, or right underneath what will be right underneath the string, and I'm going to put one of the transducers onto it. Now they say it doesn't matter which transducer it is, it should all work the same. So I just you couldn't see that my hand was probably in the way. I just put some pressure on it. Actually, I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. Just put some pressure on it to get it set in the putty. And I'll go to the next page here. I'm going to record this whole thing, so I'm going to do a dry run. So I've got my transducer puttied on there. So I'm just going to stick it up underneath and see if I can feel where this needs to go. I likely need to run some sandpaper under there. Try this first, just to get an idea for what it's doing. So that's pretty good. So I've got the golf tee lined up. It's in the oblong hole in the guide there. The putty and the transducer should then be directly under the bridge here. So what I may do is I'll just run a quick light piece of sandpaper over top of that, and at that point I should be ready to go ahead and put some super glue on there. At that point, once you've got the super glue on there, and they say to put a generous amount on it, you need to hold it up there for a good 30 seconds and then leave it up there for 5 to 10 minutes until it actually fully dries, cures. So I'll get that stage next. Alright, look at this. This is the mirror that I'm going to use inside the guitar so I can see what I'm doing. It's for my daughter, actually. But it's a good size because it's going to fit in my guitar here. So, stick that down in there. And then, I should be able to see. Perfect. So I can see what I'm doing here. And I can see if there's any dust. And let's see if you can see in here. There you go. That's what it looks like. So the pickup is under that gray putty there, obviously. So I'll get some super glue. It's lined up on both sides. Looks beautiful with the diamonds and gemstones in there. I should keep that in there all the time. So probably what I'll do is I'll just give the transducer one wipe down to get my finger grease off it, and then I'll glue that one in because that looks like it's good spacing for me. Alright, here's the point of no return. Make sure I have no dust on here. Take my golf tee out. And put a generous amount of super glue on it. Put that lid on. And here we go. Got the white lined up. Got the golf tee lined up. And I'm pressing it tight in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000, 14, 1,000, 15, 1,000, 16, 1,000, 17, 1,000, 18, 1,000, 19, 1,000, 20, 1,000, 21, 1,000, 22, 1,000, 23, 1,000, 24, 1,000, 25, 1,000, 26, 1,000, 27, 1,000, 28, 1,000, 29, 1,000, 30, 1,000. Alright, so if I've held that well, let's see, it has squished out a little bit, which is what they say is good. I'm letting go of it. Careful not to tangle my fingers and tug on it. And I see it definitely did squish out. It's soaking into the balsa wood or whatever wood is in there. And so that looks good. So I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes here. It says leave 5 to 10 minutes. And then remove it. And then we can get on to the second piece. Alright, it's been about 7 minutes. I'm going to try and take that off now. Shall see what happens here. Perfect, so I just real slowly push down on the white tab and the putty just pulled away from the pickup, and I'm just going to pull out the jig. There it is. So it actually the putty stuck to the pickup quite a bit, which is good, I suppose, and pulled it away. The pickup stuck on nice and strong, which is what we're after. And you can see a bit of the super glue gel around the sides there shining. That's some extra. So what I'll do now is I'll wipe off the extra around the pickup, make sure it's dry, and then I'll start lining up my second one after cleaning this jig. It's just not too bad. There's a bit of putty on the back of it. I'll clean that up later. I'm going to let it just sit there and fully cure. I don't want to touch it right now, but I'm going to start lining up the second one. Alright, so next one is we want to put the center one in. Now again, I'm doing this backwards, so I got to reverse all the pictures again, which is tedious. So now we're moving the white one up 2 strings up to the 3rd string from the bottom of your guitar, and I'm going to put my golf peg in there. Now we're going to put the putty, let's see, just inside the white post here. So I'll get a new piece of putty. And again, it goes right over the bridge, just inside the post. The white post, not the golf tee. I'm just double and tripling checking this, so I'm doing this right. Got my putty there. Now I got to gently pull out my other wires here. I'm just going to slide the sleeve back on it. So that I can pull one of these out. 2 of them actually. Slide that sleeve right back here, and then I can stretch these guys out. And so I'll put my, let's see, I'll put this one on here. Again, it doesn't matter which is which, they say. I'm going to center this one on top of the bridge, nestle it down in the putty. I'm going to give, just to get my finger oil off, and I'm just going to give it a little buff there with some paper towel, and then I should be able to, actually I'm going to dry run this one as well. I got stuck in my putty. Trick here is you start getting tangled in the wire for the first one, so just be real gentle about it. And I'm going to come up the 3rd string, golf tee, the oblong. And now I'm going to take another look and look at how the spacing is. Yeah, now what I'm seeing is that it's not parallel with the line on the board that's actually underneath the pins. So that's interesting. So it looks a little different. It looks like it's off center almost if you're not looking at it right. What I'll do is I'll pull it out, I'll line it up one more time, and then I'll go ahead with the super glue again. So again, this is the center one. Alright. Super glue. Generous helping. Lid on there quick. Get this under quick but gently. Trying to. There we go. Got the hole. Let me try and find my oblong golf tee. Got that in there. Pull it up tight and press. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's my 30 seconds. Just going to gently release pressure on it. Have a look at it. Looks like it's in good position. And I'll be ready to put the last one in. So I'll put the timer on for 6 minutes and I'll wait for this one to dry. While I'm waiting, I've got my Gibson strings pulled out. All pulled out of their package. They're using this plasticky cover packaging for it. I suppose that's probably more environmentally friendly or uses less material than cardboard, which a lot of the other ones use. Anyways. Alright. Second one is done. Have a peek at it. And I'll do the same as I did the first one. I'll just real gently just push down. Oops, I'll take out my golf tee. And I'll real gently push on the jig there. And gently take it out. And that one looks good. I see the super glue squished out around it. That's good. A lot less sticky tack stuck on it that time. It came off pretty clean. Most of it stuck on the jig. So what I'll do now is I'll line up the other one. I didn't get super glue on the jig that time either. So I'm going to use a fresh bit of cement here, but I'm going to line it up first. So let's see. Now white goes in the 4th string. Golf tee goes in the top string. Of course, everything's backwards, so it makes me second guess everything. Now the putty needs to go just inside the golf tee. So I'm going to take another little bit of this. I didn't even use it all. That's good. Oops. Stick it right over the bridge. Just inside the golf tee. And I'll fish out my final pickup. Put it just inside the golf tee, right over top of the bridge. Press it down snugly. Just wipe off the top. Make sure there's no oil from my fingers or something there. I'll do a dry fit here. Again, the issue is that we're working around the other ones in here. It's getting trickier and trickier. So slide it up in its place. Line the oblong hole. Look at it with my, oh, that time I didn't find the oblong hole. Alright, that's why you dry run things. Let's see, don't want to get too confident here. Alright, got my oblong hole in there. Got it positioned, looks good. And it is lining up with the pictures in the documentation. So I think I'm good to go ahead and do that one. I've got a nice straight line of them across. So go in there and gently remove that guy. Line them up one more time, make sure we're good. I'll put my super glue on. Generous amount. White pin up the hole. Find my oblong. Once I mess this one up, I'm going to take a quick peek before I touch it up. Yep. Got it that time. Second guess myself here. So it's up. I'm going to press it. And it's there for life. I count to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Look at it. And I can see the super glue squishing out the sides. That's good. All the wires are lined up. Let's see if you can get a look at that here. Where are we? There we go. You get a good view of all of them. So all lined up there. The third and last one up under the putty. The other two are sitting there drying, curing. So I'll give this one 6 minutes. Take the jig off it. And then I'll finish putting in the pin in the end. Alright, while the second one's drying, I'll see if you can get in there and look with me. There it is. So the one I just put in is under the putty there, under the jig. The first one I put in is there. It's got some putty on top. I'll clean that off probably in the morning after it's fully cured. And then I've got one more to put in to the left side there. Since this is a long and treacherous journey, I have to keep my energy stores up while I wait for the glue to cure. So I'm eating Skittles. Delicious. Alright, what I'm going to do, I have waited the 6 minutes for this. I'm going to leave that in for a few more minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and work on the end pin. So I've got a fairly thick base down here, so I'm going to keep that right at the end. Put my washer on there. Now I noticed this part screws into this part, so just make sure that that's tight there. Now I'm just going to try and stick it in with my fingers first. I don't know if my fingers are long enough. I might be able to get it in far enough that I can grab it. So let's see. Now, it's kind of stretching, it's pulling the wires taut, which is fine, but don't know that I want to pull them that taut while it's still drying. Maybe go another route and get a official wire through there. That may prevent it. Maybe what I'll do now, since I've waited a couple more minutes, is I'll just go ahead and try and take the jig out the last piece here. Take my golf tee out first. Yeah, so if you just really give it gentle push and give it some time, it'll let go off the transducer there, and then come out real nice. It'll just all of a sudden let go. And there you go. Putty, a little bit of putty left. This time I didn't have a whole bunch extra super glue on the end, so that's great. Alright, so I'll see if I can show you. All the transducers in there. There you go, 1, 2, 3. The dark areas around are the spillover of the super glue, and that's fine. So you see how they're not exactly lined up to the edge of the wood. But that is correct, because I had them lined up with the bridge. The bridge is a little bit diagonal. I don't know how the board is cut in there. It's an extra piece, obviously. You can see the edge of it at the bottom there. Anyways, this is lined up with the pins in the bridge, so there you go. Here's a DIY for the old string that you took off. You can use this as fishing wire. So I'm going to stick it in the back here. And this wire is wrecked after I took it off. I'm just going to pull the pin up. And I'll pull this wire through the old string. And you can literally string the string again through little holes on the end of the plug here. Just hook that in there. I could probably go through both sides actually. I also probably use pliers to just, it is bendable, but there we go. Through both sides, loop it up, and I should be able to just pull that straight through. I guess you want to make sure that you don't have any other wires tangled. I'm going to guide it through here. Hope you can see most of that. Alright, I'm going to guide both sides. Pull gently on one side with my old guitar string. Just hold the other one, just hold it up so it's a slack there. Gently pull it through, and perfect. Look at that. Boy, that is tight. There's not a lot of space there. I could probably take the nut off the end there. I think I'm going to do that so I can get a bit more end out here. So I've got a fairly thick back on mine. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just put a washer there instead. The washer is a bit thinner. Let's see if the washer is going to fit. Yeah, the washer fits, okay. I'm try that and see if that fits any better. Yeah, a little bit better. I think I'm going to stick with that and see if I can get away with that. So the only other thing before I put the nut on is they say to give the end a bit of a twist because that'll twist the wires on the inside. So I'll do that and get back to you here. So I guess I can just leave it rolling. I'll have another skillet while I'm waiting. So I'm going to go in here and take the guide string off. It's going to give it a good little twist so that the wires, you can see the wires torque up there. Let's see if it goes naturally the other way a little bit better here. No. Don't want the wires bouncing around, so I'm going to try that. Just a little bit of torque on there, and then I'll put my smaller washer, smaller nut. Let's see if this is going to fit here. Okay, just doing it finger tight here. Perfect. Well, there you go. I don't know how much of that you could see, but so I've got the end there. I've got both nuts on. Just want to see if it if it pulled it through enough. It looks pretty good. I might give it a little bit of extra twist, and then I'll tighten the inside nut a little bit tighter. With my needle nose pliers, I'll just give it a little bit of a tighten there, and then we'll be good. What I'm doing on here, I've got a little, just got a little tiny drill bit. I've just got going through the hole here, and that just keeps it from rotating when I'm tightening the inner bolt here. And that just keeps it nice and straight. Alright. And I'm good to put, and that just pulls it through just a little extra bit. I'll put my strap guide on there. Just finger tight that. Yep. That's good and snug. There. So I'm pretty much done. So now I put these strings back on. And we'll give that a go.